everybody. Welcome on inside Foster Pavilion on the banks of the Brazos in Waco. John Morris alongside Pat Nunley. Pat, Bears back home after a trip to the Bahamas, facing a New Orleans team with 11 first-year players on the roster. It does include the leading scorer in the Southland Conference.
Yeah, John, this guy, James White, has taken twice the number of shots than any other player on the New Orleans roster. He's a big guy, 6'5", 200 pounds. He gives them their chance today.
And for Baylor, Norchad Omier, transfer from Miami, playing outstanding basketball. He's the reigning Big 12 Conference Player of the Week.
Yeah, not only has he been as good as advertised, I think he's been better than advertised. He is a walking double-double, 16.5 points, 10 rebounds a ball game. Bears are going to feature him, I think, a little more in the low post on their offensive end, because when it goes down there, more times than not, it's a bucket.
Bears played in the Bahamas Championship last week. Norchad, a member of the all-tournament team, had a couple more double-doubles in those games. In fact, he's the nation's active leader in double-doubles with 72 in his career. Omier controls the tip. Back to VJ Edgecombe, and this game is underway in the Farrell Center. Baylor and the University of New Orleans, only the second meeting all-time between Baylor and UNO.
Man-to-man defense for New Orleans, and just a lot of ball movement out front. Bears with a figure eight. Now a ball screen up to 9. This is what they typically do.
Jeremy Roach in the corner to Norchad Omier. Back outside to Jayden Nunn. Three ball is good. First points of the day, a three by Baylor's Jayden Nunn.
And not only can Omier score in the low post, he is a willing passer. Got it in the low post immediately. New Orleans crashed in around him, and he was looking weak side for the three, kick out three to start the game.
Jayden Nunn recognized prior to the game for topping the 1,000-point mark in his Baylor career. He did that the last home game against Tarleton. Here's UNO on offense for the first time. Drive to the baseline. And that is James White we talked about. Jumper baseline left was a little bit short. White leads the conference. And a quick three is up, no good. There's Omier fighting for the rebound. Gets it, kicks it out again. Nunn with another three.
And Omier with another assist. John, he had no business getting that rebound, but the great thing about Omier, 6'7", 245, he rebounds out of space. I mean, he'll go wherever the ball is to bring it back in. Couple of assists to start.
So the starters for UNO, J.R. Jacobs, Josh Short, James White, Day Hunter, and M.J. Thomas. The starting five for Coach Stacy Hollowell in his first season as head coach at UNO.
Now, not a coincidence that White has taken each of New Orleans' first two shots in the game. Neither one of those went down, but he's going to get a lot of them today.
Omier an open look at a three. Shots no good. Josh O'Johnwood blocked off the rebound attempt. Baylor starters, Jayden Nunn, Jeremy Roach, VJ Edgecombe, Norchad Omier, and Josh O'Johnwood. There's number 17 in the nation in the poll this week. That's Day Hunter with the three.
And Hunter shoots a lot of those. 33 for White, three-point attempts on the season, and Hunter right behind him at 24. And that's the way they're going to win this game today. They're going to have to make some threes. Not a real strong low-post presence for the Privateers.
Wow, nice pass there, Edgecombe. I don't know how he could get it to Omier, but the ball is knocked away and stolen by UNO. 6-3 Baylor lead, 2.5 minutes in. Day Hunter up with an 18-footer that's no good. Jayden Nunn grabs the rebound away from James White. Privateers are 2-4 on the season, coming off a big win over Tulane. Pat, you know, in the city of New Orleans, that's got to be a big win for these Privateers.
It's a big game, and they needed it badly. Edgecombe with the three won't go, but you're right, John. You know, this is a team, New Orleans, is trying to figure it out as well. Their coach Hollowell, first year at New Orleans, so he's just trying to get his team figured out, as most teams in the country are right now. But they're capable. You beat Tulane in overtime, you can play.
That's a big win. Around the perimeter, shot clock down to 5 for UNO. There's Josh Short in the paint, shot partially blocked by VJ Edgecombe. And bringing it up the floor, Omier got ahead of himself a little bit, palmed the ball.
And there's a good look again at Omier rebounding out of space, and he knows he's in trouble. He's looking immediately to the three-point line. He's done that twice, and nothing's easy, but it's when it's catch and shoot from a three-point line, that's a good look. And now you see a really good look. Really contested shot for Jayden Hunter. And again, John, that's their chance. They've got to make some threes. Bears made a couple. New Orleans has made one. Baylor up by 3.
5 of Baylor's first 6 shots have been 3-point field goal attempts. You saw B.J. Edgecombe and Jayden Nunn go to the bench. And here's a steal by Jeremy Roach. Roach, the Duke transfer. Passes back to Rob Wright just off the bench, and the freshman Rob Wright nails the triple.
I think that's an underappreciated part of his game. He is a 50% three-point shooter. He's pretty selective about those, but when he lets it fly and he's got a good look as he did there, it's good.
Wright on the floor along with Langston Love and Jalen Celestine. Bears have the early 6-point lead. Look inside the UNO bench there on the sideline. Head coach Stacey Hollowell front and center. His first season as head coach at New Orleans. Not a stranger to this school. He's had previous stops at Texas Southern and Ole Miss. Kind of reaching his dream job, isn't he?
Yeah, and his claim to fame, John, thus far in his career, he's a young guy. He's got a lot of basketball yet to coach, but he took Loyola New Orleans to the 2021-22 NAIA National Championship.
Wow.
They went 37-1, and he was the NAIA Coach of the Year. So this guy, X's and O's, nobody better. Look at on his right side is Javon Felix, who played at Texas. John, you and I watched him play many times. Yeah,
good player.
Good player.
How about Coach Hollowell was a neighbor of Tim Floyd growing up. When Tim Floyd was the head coach at UNO, invited Coach Hollowell to a basketball camp. And that kind of sparked his interest in UNO and basketball.
That's right. Floyd used to drive Coach Hollowell to his camp every day. And I think he's leaned pretty heavily on Tim Floyd. I would.
Yeah,
One
sure.
of the great remember his time at Iowa State. What a great run Tim Floyd had.
And, of course, Scott Drew on the Baylor bench, his 22nd season here at Baylor. He and Bill Self, the deans of coaches currently in the Big 12 Conference. National champions in 2021. That banner hangs here in the Farrell Center.
Yeah, and again, this is a guy that is willing to take on all comers. Last year, the strongest strength of schedule in the country, and this year, in just 6 games, the most difficult schedule in the country. So if you want to get better by conference play, you better go out and play the big ones, and he's done that.
Yeah, first 6 opponents, 4 ranked opponents, and taking on all comers. It's the toughest strength of schedule among Power 5 schools. The next closest, this was at the start of the week, the next closest was Alabama at 43 strength of schedule.
Well,
so that's how far ahead Baylor was.
I asked him if that was by design, and he kind of rolled his eyes. He said, I'll tell you, going to Gonzaga to open the season, not really by design.
Yeah. Rethink that one.
Yep.
What did his dad tell us? Homer Drew said, yeah, if Scott needs help in scheduling in the future, I'll be glad to help.
I'll be a scheduling consultant, and we'll do better next time.
9-5 Bears on top. They've got the ball. There's Langston Love back in the Bahamas games. First time this season. Back healthy and knocking down the triple. Welcome back into the Farrell Center. Langston into the Foster Pavilion. Langston Love.
And he's going to get a little bit better every time he plays. Right now, it's just knocking off some rust. A year ago, he was the 6th most accurate three-point shooter in the country. Gets off to a good start here.
Nice pass down low. Jump hook is good by the 6'9" Luke Davis, the senior from Winterville, North Carolina. Bucket by Love, his first points of the season. Isn't that great to see him working back into the rotation?
It is. Just an injury-riddled career, probably an understatement, but he's persevered through all of it, and hopefully that last injury is one that will just get all of them behind his ability to be out there and play, because he's going to help this team immensely.
Roach fires the 3, a little bit strong, shot no good. Davis the rebound for UNO. 12-7 Bears on top, just getting going first half here in Waco. Matinee affair, day before Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you watching. There's a 3 by Jayden Hunter, his second made 3 here in the first half.
Well, right now, New Orleans has taken 8 shots and have gotten 2 threes down. That's their chance, and these guys can do that. This is a guard-oriented team, much like Baylor.
They are 2 of 2 from three-point range. Love into the paint, picks up his dribble. Back outside to Roach. Runner is no good. John wanted the rebound and is fouled.
A nice look at Langston Love finally getting back into the groove, and he has to take this shot. Nice pass from Roach. He's wide open. He lets it fly. And that's just one of the many things he can do for this team. I noticed a minute ago he was in traffic, pulled the ball up, guys reaching at him, grabbing at him. 6'5", 215 pounds, you're not going to take it from him.
Yeah.
He's a big, strong Big 12 kind of guard. Bears are going to desperately need him. Good to have him back.
Man, how about his perseverance working through just a litany of injuries, like you said. Bears inbounding foul was on J.R. Jacobs. That's his second here in the first half. Three no good by Nunn, rebounded by Edgecombe. Bears get another offensive rebound. Reset of the shot clock. Rob Wright overshoots Norchad Omier. Turnover Bears.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often, but that's exactly where you want your point guard to be. Break the defense down, get it into an area of the floor where you can draw the defense and get it to the right guy. He has an almost 2.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. He didn't turn it over very much.
Bears by 2 in the early going. UNO returns the favor, turns it over themselves. Jayden Nunn with the defensive pressure on that play. Are undefeated at home this season, still early in the year. UNO's had one home game. They played Troy. Everything else has been on the road. Everything in December will be on the road.
How about that?
Yeah.
Not one home game scheduled in December.
Wow.
And you know what they're doing in that league, the Southland Conference, great league, is looking to win the league, win the tournament, get their way to the NCAA tournament.
Ooh, nice drop off. Jayden Nunn drops it in the lap of Norchad Omier, who banks it in.
That's something else. To be a great passer, you got to know who to throw it to, and the guy you throw it to has got to be able to catch it in traffic. Nobody does that better than Omier. When he gets his paws on it, he can handle it, and nobody's going to take it from him.
White firing a three, it's no good. Omier another rebound, gonna bring it up himself. Passes ahead to Nunn to Edgecombe. Omier, we told you, the reigning Big 12 player of the week. Averaged a double-double last week. That was almost a pass, I think, from Jayden Nunn to Omier. And now Rob Wright drives in and banks it in.
And that's where he lives. That's what makes him such a great point guard. You need point guards playing downhill. Needs to be a little bit of daring around them, and just fearlessness, getting the ball into the lane, and if nobody makes him change directions, he just finishes.
Shot partially blocked, but they're going to call a foul on Langston Love. 16-10, Bears on top. Timeout on the floor in Foster Pavilion.
And just a nice savvy again by all these guards. Another offensive rebound by Omier. And Rob Wright all the way to the basket. Nobody made him stop, and he finishes.
Opponents so far this year, that's the most of any school in Division I.
Well, we said earlier that Coach Drew played the most difficult strength of schedule in the country last year. The gauntlet of the Big 12 helps. But or hurts, whatever that is. But you know, you look at Baylor's first 4 games against top 25 opponents. Bears 2-2 there, and the 2 games that the Bears lost, Gonzaga, Tennessee. Both of those teams, John, we haven't seen everybody yet, but if there are a handful of better teams in the country this year, I'd be surprised.
Oh.
Each of those teams could easily go to a Final Four. So in both of those games, Baylor was not projected to win. Bears have won the games they were projected to win, and the good news is those 2 losses, in terms of net rankings and all that statistical stuff that goes into figuring NCAA tournament seeding, not going to hurt.
6th highest strength of schedule as of today, according to Ken Palm, highest among Power 4 conference teams. This is Theo Grant shooting free throws coming out of the timeout. Foul going into the timeout was on Langston Love. Kind of a touch foul, his first of the day. Rolls off, tipped up a couple of times, 3 times. Finally, the rebound. Kip Kissinger's going to tell us. It's going to be a foul on Baylor's Jalen Celestine.
Yeah, these guys aren't big, New Orleans. They don't have a lot of length, but they've got 5 really good athletes on the floor, and they go awfully hard to the offensive glass. And this is an athletic team, shows up, the athleticism does. in their steal numbers. They average 2.5 steals a game, and that right now is 33rd in the NCAA. You can see here there is a fight for the ball. A lot of privateers going up. Number 3 goes up, and it looks like he was on a pogo stick. He looks like VJ Edgecombe, and it's rare that you're in that position and you draw the foul rather than commit the foul. And New Orleans gets a decent possession out of it, and they've cut the lead to 4.
So UNO taking advantage of the time at the free throw strike. VJ Edgecombe for the Bears. From Bimini in the Bahamas, one of the small islands in the Bahamas. He really enjoyed his time there, I think, except for the result of that Tennessee game. Ooh, Jayden Nunn off the dribble, knocks down his 3rd 3 of the first half.
Yeah, it's one of those Nunn kind of games. He's feeling it, and the great thing is his teammates realize that he's feeling it, and they're feeding him the ball. 43% from a three-point line coming into the ball game. Right now it's sort of catch and shoot.
Rob Wright runs the rebound the other way. Edgecombe, nice to the bucket. That'll be a goaltending call. Looked good. MJ Thomas, 6'8", 205-pound freshman from Denton, going to be called for the goaltend. The Bears have their biggest lead of the half.
And that's just a little between the legs, fall back 3. And he's got the green light to shoot that, particularly when he's having the kind of shooting afternoon he's having.
A little backcourt pressure by the Bears. New Orleans breaks the midcourt strike. Josh Short with the ball. Right side of the floor. Hunter to White around the perimeter. James White working against Jalen Celestine. Now into the paint, and the layup is good by Turk Vincent.
And it's a nice play by Vincent, but you can see the attention that White is going to draw from the defense. Celestine wouldn't leave him. And Celestine was the helper on the drive, but he didn't want to leave White wide open.
Runner by Wright is no good. Rebound by O'Meara, and he is fouled. Boy, he is just relentless on the glass, isn't he?
You know, he's just got a knack for the ball, and he's got a body to support his pursuit of the ball. Here's yet another offensive rebound. Ball's going up. O'Meara is, look, he's surrounded by 3 guys, but is able to muscle it. And not only does he get control of the ball, he doesn't bring it down to his waist. He keeps it up so that defenders can't pick his pocket. Gets a free throw out of it, he'll get another one.
First free throw today by the Bears. They're shooting at just under 70% on the year at the line. Roach back on the floor. Rob Wright to the bench. Celestine to the bench also.
Yeah, it's a real luxury, John, that Bears have at the guard spot. You've got 4 different guards that are in that lineup, and if you bring Love into the fray, you just add one. You bring a guy on, off, bring another guy in his place, you don't lose a thing. You really don't.
Couple of free throws by Norchad O'Meara. 4 points, 4 rebounds early on. He goes to the bench. Josh Ojonwona is back on for the Baylor Bears. On the hands of James White, working against Langston Love.
Well, White is a marked man.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. James White, focal point of the scouting report.
Well, and you can see the attention he gets again on the offensive end. Nice kick out. Ball won't go for him. This guy is 0 for 3 in the game, White, and he shoots more field goal attempts, almost double the number of field goal attempts as any other New Orleans player.
Edgecombe firing a 3. It's a little bit long. Rebounded on the backside by Day Hunter. Bears by 9. 9.5 minutes on the clock, first half. Matinee game on Thanksgiving week. There's a long 3 by Day Hunter. Missed badly. Long rebound. Jayden Nunn has it for Baylor.
That's a good defensive stand. You force the opponent to take a shot like that, really way out of his comfort zone. Roach answers with a quick 3. That's back-to-back really quick 3s by the Bears. They shoot a lot of them. They've got the green light to shoot them, but each of those pretty quick into the possession. You really don't give your offensive set a chance to create better shots than that.
Dribbling under the basket and back out. Pass is knocked away and stolen. Turnover Jayden Nunn in transition. Another three. Jayden Nunn, his fourth made three in the first half of the first half. How about the start by Jay Nunn?
Yeah, and give Roach credit again because he understood, really didn't have numbers, but he knew if Nunn was coming up on the right side of the break, he was going to get him the ball in scoring position. He did, and Nunn responded.
Quick timeout by UNO, 8:41 on the clock. Jayden Nunn, 4 threes in the first half, batting 4 of 5 also, and he's got 12 points.
Well, and he was honored before the game. He's a 1,000-point career scorer, and so Coach Drew, as he is wont to do, able to recognize him, even though part of those buckets and those points came from VCU. He's a Baylor Bear now. Here's another good look. Roach quickly over to Nunn. Nunn runs right to his comfort zone. That spot, free throw line extended at the three-point line, and it's just been catch and shoot for Nunn all day. But give his teammates credit, John. They know he's got the hot hand, and they're going to feed him, and they have fed him well. And right now from the floor, Nunn is 4 of 6 overall. He's got 4 of 5 threes down.
That's how you get to 1,000, by knocking down shots like that, right?
Yeah. And you know, again, he got some of those at VCU,
Sure.
but John, he's come in here, and I think it's fair to say Jayden Nunn is a Baylor Bear.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Oh, fit in great. Culture of joy here at Baylor. Tremendous to see. James White, as they beat the press, got down the floor. Ojonwuna got a partial block of that shot. Loose ball out of bounds. It was a good job by Josh being back after UNO broke the press in the backcourt.
Yeah, and UNO is a really good team in transition because of their athleticism. They're a fast basketball team, and so I'm sure one of the things Coach Drew really pointed out in the strategy session was you've got to get back. You've got to protect the rim, run back, get in the lane, protect the rim, and then go find a guy. Josh Ojonwuna did exactly that.
Bears leading by 12. New Orleans inbounding far side court. Here is Cohen Robotham inbounding far side of the floor. Robotham on for the first time today. Robotham has the ball in his hands between the rings. Gives to White. Working on Ojonwuna. He lost the hand away, and a shot clock violation forced by the Baylor defense.
Well, defense has been an emphasis. I mean, the Bears have been giving up a lot of points, and you think back to their great teams, i.e. the national championship team, that team was a beast defensively. They sort of set the standard for how you have to defend at this level to really play your way and extend your stay in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, nice. Alley-oop. Jeremy Roach to Josh Ojonwuna for the flush. Well done. Tight little pass there. Nice little window, but they made it work.
Yeah, Ojonwuna, the only non-guard on the floor right now, and he understands those 4 guards are going to get it into the lane. He's got to get his hands up and ready to score. Did exactly that.
Had a 12-2 run by the Bears over the last 3.5 minutes. Robotham, the runner, is no good, but he's fouled. It'll be free throws for the University of New Orleans. When we come back, Baylor's doubled up the Privateers, 7.5 minutes to play first half. New Orleans in Waco playing Baylor today, as we mentioned, off the heels of a really big win in the city of New Orleans. An overtime win, 93-87 over crosstown rival Tulane.
Yeah, and John, this is the first year for Coach Hollowell, and he's just starting the program here. You know, the cupboard is not bare, but the expectations for his team not all that high. You need a game like that Tulane game to sort of sink your teeth into and give the players the feeling that, you know, we're making some progress. They got rattled up at Kansas State. That can happen. They were able to win a game against Lindenwood, but this is a game that I think got them starting to believe that they can really do this in Hollowell's first year.
They were an 18-point underdog going into that game against Tulane and won it, pulling that New Orleans voodoo magic for a big win on the riverfront there. Now to Waco and playing all road games until they hit the start of conference play January 4th. Langston Love, floater in the paint. Couple of buckets in the first half for Langston Love.
Yeah, he needs a feel-good game. I mean, he's been out so long. Hasn't been able to practice either. People think you just show up and start playing when you're cleared. Well, you've got to practice. and you've got to knock off some of the rust. Has been able to do that tonight.
It was a steal for Omier. He drives down the floor, and he is tied up, not fouled. Good job by Cohen Robotham to get back and tie that one up.
You see the steal here. Ball down low, and Omier's right on it. One thing you know about Omier, wherever he gets it on the floor, it's going to be a one-man fast break.
Right.
And I don't blame him. I mean, who's going to knock him off course? That is the rare occasion where he doesn't make something good happen off of that one-man fast break.
And there's another one. James White going to take that one himself. Right down the middle of the paint, and he is fouled by Rob Wright. There's by 15 over the University of New Orleans.
You know, I like this guy. White is their leading scorer, leading rebounder, 21 points, 8.5 rebounds a game, and he's just got a couple of free throws in the game. So 0 for 4 from the floor, but he's playing. He's still playing hard. They understand he's got to be involved heavily in their offense to have a chance to win. He's not letting up.
White 2 points so far here in the first half, 0 for 4 from the floor. His 2 points from the free throw line. Here he is again into the paint. Pull-up jumper is no good. Omier, another rebound. Outlet to Jayden Nunn. Dishes it to Edgecombe, slicing in, and he leaves it just short.
Yeah, did everything but actually get the ball in the net.
3 left side, that one is good by Josh Short.
It's a good example of the fast break I was talking about. New Orleans wants to get it in transition. They don't want this to be exclusively a half-court game. They really don't have any chance to win if that's the case. They got to get steals, take advantage of bad offense by Baylor to create points on their own at the other end.
Nunn drives, leaves it on the rim, it falls off, but a foul on New Orleans.
It's a good look at that transition. Up the floor they go. Baylor's got it pretty well guarded, but they lost track of that guy, and it was just catch and shoot. I mean, these guys really move from one end of the floor to the other at breakneck pace.
That was on MJ Thomas. That's his second. Going to put Jayden Nunn at the free throw line. There's this game today, and who's next? How about UConn, the back-to-back defending national champions, coming up on Wednesday next week.
Well, John, you mentioned back-to-back. They lost back-to-back, and I just almost unheard of.
Don't get them riled up now anymore.
But neither one of those losses was in Storrs, Connecticut.
Yeah, true.
That's true. Yeah, but that again, the plot thickens for this team as they play as good as they can possibly play. And I think, John, this has been a good one thus far. Bears up 32-18. It's a good one for them to come back home and have a chance to sleep in their own beds and practice the way they needed to practice. Got a lot to work on, and so far so good this afternoon.
Jayden Nunn to the bench, Jeremy Roach back on. Second of those back-to-back losses by UConn to Big 12 member Colorado. Big win for Colorado Buffs last night out in Maui. Whistle and a foul.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Luke Davis. Davis had the ball, and he was guarded by Omier, or at least he was making a move to the basket. In fact, we'll take a look at it here. There's Davis. He goes right into the chest of Omier. Omier gets that first one, but Davis stays right after it, and Edgecombe got a little handsy and sends Davis to the free throw line. But that really, it seems counterintuitive. That's the way you attack a big guy in the low post, or in that situation. You've got to go right into his chest, even if it's Omier.
Davis 1 of 2 at the line. The foul was on Edgecombe. That's his second of the day. Free throw makes it 32-19. Bears on top. Under 6 minutes to play, first half, here in Foster Pavilion in Waco. Rob Wright's pass out to Edgecombe, tipped into the backcourt. Bears now have numbers. For a moment, UNO sets up. Reverse layup by Rob Wright is good.
You know, the Privateers have to be shaking their heads. I mean, because that was a really good defensive series. And just the individual play by Rob Wright, they had him guarded in the corner, almost had him trapped, but just with individual ability, got along the baseline and to the basket.
Pass deflected and stolen. Another turnover by New Orleans. 7 turnovers by the Privateers here in the first half. 3 by Baylor. O'Meara to Rob Wright. Wright into the paint again. Triple team, ball knocked away. Turnover Bears. Up the floor to White, but the pass deflected out of bounds by VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah, here's a good look at that play right in the corner. Little head and shoulder fake. He's trapped right there. Delays and all the way under the basket, reverse layup. I mean, that is hard to do. He's trapped. He has nowhere to go. Davis backs off of him a little bit, just enough for Wright to finish at the rim.
So New Orleans inbounding on their baseline, team that was 10 and 23 a year ago. Coaching change. Mark Schlesinger, who was there for 13 years, went to Indiana State, the associate head coach there. And in comes Coach Hollowell. Three ball is good from the right side. A three by Day Hunter. Boy, he likes that three, and he has been good at it so far in this game.
Yeah, I mean, 4 of 7 now from the three-point line for New Orleans, and that's their chance. That's why they're down just by 12 with about 4.5 minutes to play in the first half.
Day Hunter is 3 of 4 himself. Jayden Nunn, boom. He likes that three spot right there. How about Jayden Nunn, 5th three in the first half.
You could just tell that he's feeling it, because when that ball leaves his hand, he just running to the other end. There's no doubt about it.
James White looking to join that three parade. That one is no good. Rebounded by Rob Wright. Nunn, 5 threes in the half. That ties his season high for a game. Roach drive, layup, good, and a foul.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how he, number one, split the trap and then was able to finish. Take a look at it here. Here it is, right down the lane, splits the trap, left hand, somehow wills it into the basket. Unbelievable play by Roach.
Here at Foster Pavilion today, the day before Thanksgiving. Oh, look at that turkey.
I love it.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Dunking it with the exclamation. I mean, hanging on the rim. I love it.
That gives a whole new meaning to turkey stuffing, doesn't it? With that graphic.
That's really, really good.
But a great crowd here, day before Thanksgiving, and a lot of youngsters out of school for the most part here in the Waco area. Baylor students are out, so we don't have the normal student contingent here. Man, they are so good. They line up for the best seats here in the pavilion. But students are gone, enjoying a nice Thanksgiving break, but a really nice crowd today.
Absolutely, John. I'm looking around the arena, and this thing, of course, goes straight up. So you can see at the very top of the arena, those seats are virtually full. And just what a great environment. And this place is going to be rocking come conference play. We got to experience that last year. And what a home court advantage Foster Pavilion has been for Baylor basketball, men's and women's.
The women play an afternoon game, a matinee coming up on Friday against New Orleans. In fact, Jeremy Roach completes the three-point play with the free throw out of the timeout. Points off turnovers, 10 for Baylor, 3 by the University of New Orleans. And it's a 40-22 Baylor lead. Baylor scored 100 points or more in their last 2 home games, wins over Sam Houston and Tarleton. Pat, they've got 40 here with 3.5 minutes to go first half.
Yeah, well, you can tell this is just a game where they've sort of cut loose and played, and they've got, behind Nunn, they've got the guards really going.
Celestine pass eludes Ojanwuna, but chased down by Roach. He'll drive, banker, no. Ojanwuna has it knocked out of his hands and out of bounds.
You know, when those guards decide, again, we're going to play downhill, we're going to get the ball into the paint, Coach Drew calls them paint touches. This team is really hard to beat because each one of those guards can hit a kick-out three. If you've got drivers and you've got guys floating to the right spots at the three-point line like that, you're going to win a lot of games.
That is Jeremy Roach, a three for the Bears from the right-hand corner. Roach, the transfer from Duke, had the buzzer-beating three that gave Baylor the win over St. John's first game in the Bahamas. A double overtime, should say. Double overtime buzzer-beating three. 9-0 run by the Bears over the last minute 15. Build the lead to 21, biggest of the half. There's another takeaway by the Bears. Outlet to Rob Wright. Layup good at the other end.
You know, that was in traffic, or at least it was hotly contested. Rob Wright has shot that shot 1,000 times, and he's so comfortable doing that. He knows exactly where to get the defender on his body to shield the defender away from the ball.
11-0 run by the Bears. James White covered up. Gets it away to Davis, back to White. White, their leading scorer, 20.7 points per game. And he's fouled by Rob Wright on the shot attempt here. White has had a hard time getting shots off. He's 0 for 6 so far. He's got 2 points on 2 free throws.
Yeah, and here we see Wright, actually White on Wright. Wright fouls White. And, you know, White continues to just play. Sometimes when the ball's not going in otherwise, you just got to work your way to the free throw line, and he knows how to do that.
Free throws long, no good. 2 minutes, 12 seconds on the clock. Here comes Chad O'Meara. Langston Love back on the floor for the Bears.
You know, Rob Wright can very quietly fill up his stat sheet. He's going to the bench now, but he is just been outstanding in this game. He's just missed 1 shot. He's got 3 assists, turned it over a couple of times, but he is so productive and he's so smooth doing it that you don't feel like he's really racking up those statistics.
1 of 2 free throws by James White, and it is 45-23, Baylor on top. Jeremy Roach walks it across the timeline. Lobs for O'Meara, and he banks it in.
What a great pass from Roach. And O'Meara knew that it kind of made eye contact, and O'Meara had his defender on his hip. And again, when O'Meara gets you on his hip, you're done. It's 6'7", 245. He's going to move you wherever he wants to move you.
6 points, 6 rebounds by Chad O'Meara here in the first half. Little 2-3 zone look defensively by Baylor. Shot over that zone, sails out of bounds.
And there's that look again. You can see those guys are looking at one another, and Roach is almost expecting O'Meara to release and make that move to the bucket. And those 2 guys have each played in the Final Four. They've seen a lot of basketball.
First year together here at Baylor. Chemistry really developing here in the month of November. Minute 20 to play before halftime. He leads by 24. Nunn feeling it, up and in. That is 20 in the first half by Jayden Nunn. That is a new career high. And 6 made threes in the first half by Jayden Nunn. 1 short of his career high.
Well, it wasn't like he was unguarded. I mean, he just pulled back, created a little bit of space, and pulled the trigger.
Waylon Celestine has a nice shot from beyond the arc. That one no good. Baylor at 50 points with 39 seconds to go before halftime.
Yeah, this has been a different pace for them. I mean, they have been, you think about defensive pressure, applying pressure defensively. These guys have applied offensive pressure against really an overwhelmed New Orleans defense. It hasn't been that bad. You get a guy shooting threes the way Nunn has, you just got a long afternoon ahead of you.
Payday Hunter wheels around Jayden Nunn to beat the shot clock. Bears can now play for the final shot of the half. 10 seconds and counting. Jeremy Roach 6 assists in this first half as well. He's got the ball now. 4, 3, 2 seconds. Roach drive, layup, partially blocked by Davis. And give Davis credit for that, and that's how we reach halftime. Pat, the Bears 50 points in the first half, maybe on their way to a 3rd consecutive home game of scoring 100 or more.
Yeah, 104 against Sam Houston, 104 against Tarleton. This is a comfortable place for them, and you can tell their comfort level in this game is really high. Right now they're shooting at 55% from the floor. They made 53% of their threes. And right now it's a shooting exhibition by Nunn.
Half here inside Foster Pavilion in Waco. Bears with the lead over New Orleans, 50-23, in large part by a 20-point first half by Baylor guard Jayden Nunn.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of 3 or 4 guards that can just light it up. It just happens to be his day this afternoon. 6 of 7 from a 3-point line. He has 20. John, the great thing about Baylor basketball is you've got other guards who are capable of doing exactly this. In fact, you might see that kind of performance from somebody else in the second half. But The first half belonged to Nunn. He was the difference. He's got 20 of Baylor's 50.
And here we go, beginning the second half. Bears with the ball. 27-point lead here at halftime. As we've said, Baylor, last 2 home games, they've scored over 100 points in both against Sam Houston and Tarleton. And Jeremy Roach starts the second half. The way he ended the first, a driving layup, puts Baylor up 52-23.
Kind of interesting. Bears start the second half with Rob Wright on the floor instead of VJ Edgecombe. Don't know what that's about. But again, you don't lose anything. You put Edgecombe down, bring Wright in. A little different, but you're not going to lose productivity.
Zone look defensively by Baylor. Drive in. James White with the bucket. That is his first basket from the floor today. Their leading scorer, 20.7 points per game. He's got 4 points or 5 points total now. 3 in the first half came at the free throw line.
Yeah, well, Stacy Hollowell, the UNO coach, said, look, if we don't get him involved, it's going to be worse the next 20 minutes. And so I think they drew up a play for him to get things going and get him kick-started here in the second half.
Jeremy Roach drives in. Pull-up jumper is good. He's got the first 2 buckets for the Bears here in the second half. Day Hunter's 3 off the top of the backboard. White the rebound. Put back, no, but a foul.
Well, 2 possessions now for New Orleans in the second half, and White has touched the ball each time. Got a bucket first time down, and then on the play was fouled. You can tell Privateers are looking for him, and as well they should. Ball goes up for grabs, a bad miss. He gets an offensive rebound, and a putback attempt gets him to the line where he hits his first one. I thought it was an assist, but a really bad miss from the corner put that ball up for grabs, and he went and got it.
First free throw is good by White. Second one also good, so a couple of free throws, and he has come out and scored his team's first 4 points in the second half.
He's going to need to. I mean, he's their leading scorer by far, 21 points a game, 8.5 rebounds a game, has taken 2 times the number of shot attempts as any other player on this roster.
He's the leading scorer in the Southland Conference, leading rebounder, leader in minutes and double-figure scoring games. So James White maybe heating up to start this second half.
Oh!
Wright went for the 3, no good. O'Meara went for the follow jam, couldn't quite get it. Big smile on his face.
Yeah, you know, if that ball had come off 6 inches shorter, that would have been a tear the rim down kind of play.
2 minutes in, second half, 27-point lead for the Bears over University of New Orleans. Second meeting all time between these two. There's one by 40. First meeting, only previous meeting in 2018. Step back 3, that one is good to beat the shot clock buzzer by Josh Short.
And that's the only way he takes that shot, was to beat the buzzer. He was very closely guarded. And it's a play like that where you're guarding him, you just, well, you know, give him a high five and play on.
Jeremy Roach across the top of the key. Gives to Jayden Nunn. Pull-up jumper is no good.
You know why he missed that?
Too close in.
It wasn't a 3.
It wasn't a 3-pointer. We can coach from here, can't we?
It's really easy from where we sit, no doubt.
On the baseline, working against O'Meara. Shot no good. Gonna call a foul on Norchad O'Meara of MJ Thomas.
So here it is. He's trying to beat the shot clock. Look at the defense by Wright. Right on him. Steps back across the 3-point line and lets it fly. Again, maybe an ill-advised shot, but when that's all you got, you let it fly, and that one went down.
So here is MJ Thomas to the free throw line. Freshman from Denton, Texas.
Well, this guy was highly recruited coming out of Denton. He had offers from Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and ended up at New Orleans. And young kid, he's got a really bright future ahead of him. This is a team, John, that's going to be, I think, a different basketball team in February than they are today. They've got a lot of really nice pieces. They're not real long, guard-oriented, and that's the way they've played. You've got to make threes to have a chance.
A couple of free throws by Thomas makes it 54-31. One was, I think, designed to be an alley-oop. Not well executed. Jeremy Roach. Intended for Josh Ojanwuna.
Yeah, I think Roach was thinking shot. No, he was thinking pass. So Jean was thinking shot.
Yeah, right.
And that was the breakdown in communications. Somehow the Bears retained possession. That
Yeah.
ball was up for grabs. There were 3 privateers on top of it. A couple of them ran into each other. Ball just rolled out of bounds.
So Baylor maintains possession, inbounding near side court. For Chad O'Meara. Banker, no good. Chases down his own miss. To Langston Love for 3, and it's no good. Thomas has it for New Orleans.
You know, John, that is what I was talking about earlier. That's rebounding out of space. I mean, that ball was 8 feet away. 2 or 3 other players had a chance to get it. O'Meara comes out of nowhere and picks it up and saves the possession.
It's 10 rebounds on the day already for Norchad O'Meara. He's got 6 points. We'll keep the double-double watch going. Again, he is the nation's active leader. That man, Norchad O'Meara, in double-doubles for his career. 72. Think about that.
Yeah.
72 double-doubles.
And in career rebounds.
Yes, yes.
He's just a beast. We said before the broadcast, John, he has been better than advertised.
Backing down. Thomas takes him to the rack and banks it in.
Now, what do you do with that? And we said earlier, that guy is so big and strong, and he's so crafty in the low post. He plays down there, undersized at 6'7", but when he just knows how to use his body and to control the defense. You can watch him as we see the play. Again, along the baseline, he's got him exactly where he wants him. Quick spin move over his left shoulder, and the defender is really just helpless.
Working alongside Brooks Wells and Darren White and Pat Vinston with those guys before the game. Just respect them so much for the work that they do. The travel is unbelievable. And Kip actually said he's coming off 2 days off. Got to see his sons play against each other. High school basketball game last night in Omaha.
In fact, one Thanksgiving break, I have an uncle who lives in Hastings, Nebraska. We celebrate Thanksgiving there every year. So we celebrate Thanksgiving Friday. We're all off to a game. I don't know where it was, but it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm in the airport just north of Hastings, Nebraska, and in walks Kip Kissinger and Brooks Wells.
Of all places.
Yeah, well, they're both Nebraska guys.
Yeah.
We mentioned Kip, I think, now lives in Omaha, but they grew up there. I think Kip played at a small college level in Nebraska. A really good player, by the way. But they were there celebrating Thanksgiving in the heartland, home of the Huskers.
Shout out Hastings, Nebraska. How about
That's
that?
right. There you go.
Uncle Bob.
Actually, the airport was Grand Island, about
Grand
30 miles
Island,
north. There
Nebraska.
you go. Yep,
Very
the
nice.
hub of western Nebraska.
Yeah, that is the hub. Very good. Back to play. New Orleans misses on the shot coming out of the timeouts. Bears going to take advantage. Rob Wright just calmly knocks down the 3.
You know, when you add that to his repertoire, he is really hard to guard, and he is the most accurate three-point shooter on the team. Doesn't shoot as many, but when he shoots them, more times than not, they're going down.
He's in double figures again already. He's got 12 in the game. Drive to the baseline. Nice pass back to James White, who banks it in.
That's one of the reasons White gets as many points as he does. He's always cutting hard to the basket, and his teammates are looking for him. He's cutting. He's got his hands up. He's making himself a target, and you can see an example there of how active he is, and that activity leads to productivity.
Whoa, Norchad O'Meara with the left hand banks it in.
Well, New Orleans has no defense for that. I mean, they just don't have the girth in the low post it's going to take to move him around.
That's another double-double for Norchad O'Meara. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 73rd of his college career. Nobody playing college basketball has more right now than Norchad O'Meara. James White wheels around his defender. Shot no good. Langston Love the rebound for the Bears. Love kind of left open there. He's going to take advantage and bank it home.
Good to see him getting reps. He's going to get a lot of minutes here in the second half. When he's healthy, he's really as good as it gets. In fact, he was the leading scorer in the Big 12 among non-starters. Was well on his way, I think, John, to be the sixth man of the year in the league. Yep.
And a steal by Langston Love. Bears take it away. 6 minutes into the second half. 63-34, Baylor on top. Whistle. Away from the ball is going to stop play. It's going to be against Baylor. I'm not sure what it was.
I never saw it.
It's Called on Omier. That is his second foul.
You know, that's only 2 against Omier, but John, going forward, that's an issue for Baylor. You've got to keep Omier out of foul trouble every single game. You've got Ojanwuna, but he plays differently. And when Ojanwuna is not on the floor, they go really small. When those two are both out, you got a problem.
Good energy by New Orleans. A.R. Jacobs has it right wing. Gives to James White. Shot clock at 10. Pass on the baseline. Out of bounds. Turnover. Privateers.
Yeah, and neither team has really turned it over excessively. I mean, every turnover hurts. That's 10 against the Privateers in this game. And, John, this is the first game, with the exception of maybe Kansas State when they went to Manhattan and opened the season, where they've seen the kind of relentless pressure that they have seen out on the perimeter from Baylor today.
Josh Ojanwuna is back on the floor for the Bears. Langston Love goes to the bench. Roach to the bench also. There's Love. 3, rims out. No good. Good looking shot, top of the key. James White brings it up. And Celestine with the block as White drives in. Nice easy block there by Jalen Celestine, the Cal transfer.
Yeah, really good help too. And you've got to help off of when White's got the ball, you're a helper on the drive. Baylor's not as worried about the other 4 shooting you out of your defense. So White is going to get, or whoever's guarding White's going to get all the help he needs today.
Freshman M.J. Thomas keeps working, banging into Josh Ojanwuna, and he puts it in. Thomas the bucket makes it 63-36.
You know, we've yet to see VJ Edgecombe in the second half of this game.
There's Celestine. I think his first made 3 today. Yes, it is. 66-36, Bears on top.
You know, Bears getting a lot of really good looks at the three-point line. They're shooting an even 50%, 11 out of 22. A lot of looks, and most of them have gone down.
19 straight games Celestine has had at least 1 3-pointer.
Just yet another shooter on this roster. You've got 4 guards who can, and then Celestine at 6'7". Really, John, that's what he's out there to do. Most of his shots are threes. He's not really a banger, but at 6'7", he's rarely going to get a shot blocked out there.
I think looking at somebody Baylor might play, if they had a guy like that, it'd be a tough matchup.
It's a really tough matchup. Now, he's not a guy that's going to take you in the low post and work on you, but it's 6'7", and he's a big 6'7", and defensively he's really starting to come around, but he's a guy that can change the complexion of a game with three-point shooting. And, you know, again, for the 10th time, there are 4 or 5 of the guys on this roster, the Baylor roster, that can do that.
Baylor by 30 at the 12-minute mark here in the second half. Roach to Celestine, firing again, and back-to-back threes by Jalen Celestine.
You know, we said at the end of halftime it was Nunn. It was 6 or 7 from the three-point line, and that there were any number of players that can pick up his slack in the second. Celestine with back-to-back threes might be that guy.
On the floor, Thomas, good job. He finds his teammate, Leland Coleman, for the dunk.
Yeah, scramble for the loose ball, and that left him wide open. Bears maintaining their lead, and really right now, I think if you're New Orleans, what you're thinking about is, I'm going to practice against a top 20 team, and we're going to get better because of it.
Oh, wow. Boy, Baylor is feeling it from beyond the arc. There's Jeremy Roach, arcs that one in. Another 3, and it's a 72-38 Baylor lead. Ball knocked away, turnover. Privateers, here come the Bears with numbers. Celestine for 3, and that one rims out. 13 made threes by the Bears. Remember, they had 15 in that win over St. John's. It was a double overtime game. They played 10 extra minutes.
You know, this is a really fun game to watch. It's just a shooting exhibition. That one didn't go. But, I mean, I'm not seeing, John, anything other than threes right now from either team.
It's kind of morphed into that, hasn't it? Jayden Nunn, step back 3. That one rims out. He's made 6 of them today. Rebound, Josh Ojanwuna. Foul, New Orleans.
And, John, I think we have seen 6 threes from either team. Last 6 shots have been threes, and there's one of them by Celestine It's a guy that can just catch and shoot, and he's picked up the slack here in the second.
There's B.J. Edgecombe, the talented freshman for the Bears, on the bench, warm-up shirt on. We have not seen him. Pat, as you mentioned, didn't start the second half. We have not seen him in the second half. We don't know of any reason. Looks to be okay, but just making the point, we haven't seen B.J. Edgecombe this half.
Yeah, he hasn't taken his warm-up off since halftime. And this is a guy, John, a lot of people think, projected top 5, NBA draft, all that stuff. It's a guy that's going to come in and score big. And his attitude is, look, I'm going to play hard. I'm going to get rid of loose ball. I'm going hard to the glass. I'm just gonna play the way I play. And if that produces 8 points, great. If it's 28, that's great. But I think right now maybe it's just sometimes it's better to just watch than to play. And we don't know. But this is a guy that makes so many plays that don't show up in the box score that help you win.
Jayden Nunn outside to Rob Wright. His shot is no good. Rebound underneath, put back by Nunn is no good. But that man, Norchad Omier, battles under the glass and gets the putback basket.
You know, the ball's bouncing around. It's a miss. It's an offensive rebound attempt and just being batted around. And all of a sudden you see 2 big hands go
right
about 2 feet above everybody else's. And you know those belong to Norchad Omier. And here's what I'm talking about. Ball's up for grabs. There's a bat, there's a bat, there's a bat, there's a rebound and a putback, and then all of a sudden it's Omier.
It's Omier time.
It's Omier. It's like, okay, hey, guys, that's my ball.
Yeah. Here is a steal in the back court, but then lost out of bounds. Rob Wright had the ball knocked away initially by Cohen Robotham. And then Luke Davis couldn't chase down the loose ball before it went out of bounds. Rob appears to be okay. Looked like he got maybe hit in the lip a little bit. But the ball goes back to Baylor. Bears leading 74-38.
This game has become loose and free and easy. That's why we're seeing really so many threes. And, you know, I said earlier, I think it's great for New Orleans, who is just tried to get going, building a program, first year for their coach in the program. And just an opportunity to go play, practice, get better, run your stuff against one of the better teams in the country is really going to advance this team in terms of its development. And all they're thinking about right now is the start of Southland Conference play in January.
All right, maybe some question about who had possession of that ball, but it stays with the Bears. So many three-pointers today, Pat, but Daniel Ramirez tells us that Baylor has outscored New Orleans 26-12 in the paint, points.
Well, I think largely because of the play of Norchad Omier.
Right.
He's got his double-double, 12 and 11. But again, some of that stuff in the paint is off of the drive. They're looking to create. They want to play the game from the inside out, not the outside in. And if you get shots in the paint, that's great. Threes are nice too.
Roach penetrates, kicks, Nunn, another three, and he's got another three.
And John's what I'm talking about, inside out. Roach on the dribble drive into the lane. He's inside the three-point line, and then because of the drive, he's got a wide open guy in the corner. That's a kick-out three.
Nunn 7 of 9 from three-point range. Here's the steal by Nunn, ahead to Wright, and he lays it in at the other end.
Yeah, he executed it beautifully. It's a 2-on-1. And you want the ball into the hands of your point guard, who is Wright at that time, and just executed beautifully. Got to make the lone defender commit. He never did, and Wright laid it in.
Nice drive by J.R. Jacobs. He banks it in with his left hand. And it's 79-40, Baylor on top. Just under 9 minutes to play in this game. There is Jacob, sophomore from Memphis.
These guys are athletic. I mean, this is a nice team. They probably could use a little bit of length. Not telling Coach Hollowell anything he doesn't know. But these guys get after it. Again, 33rd in the country in steals per ball game, just under 3 steals. Haven't been able to do that in this one.
Wow, how about that drive? Scoop shot, no good by Jeremy Roach. New Orleans team picked 9th in the now 12-team Southland Conference. Never been 12 teams before, the addition of Stephen F. Austin and UT Rio Grande Valley to the Southland Conference this year.
Good league.
Coach Kyle Keller over there at SFA.
Yeah, think about the run McNeese had. That's a really strong league.
Ooh, what a year they had last year.
Oh, gosh.
30 wins, right, for McNeese. And They are picked to win it this year. Saved in bounds by Davis, but to Jayden Nunn. Langston Love into the paint, kicks, three, no by Jayden Nunn. O'Meara, another rebound. Good shot, better shot, best shot. O'Meara, another rebound.
I'm sensing a pattern here.
O'Meara's making hay under the bucket. Those offensive rebounds.
Yeah, that's two more offensive rebounds for O'Meara. It was 3, miss, O'Meara rebound, 3, miss, O'Meara rebound, and then another 3 that missed.
Give him 13 rebounds on the day. Shot no good. Luke Davis the rebound. Jump hook is good. Baseline right.
This guy's a nice player. I mean, he's got some bounce to him. Plays really, really hard. He's a little undersized. I mean, nobody on that roster is going to be able to handle O'Meara. But he's active, pretty skilled.
From Winterville, North Carolina, transferred to New Orleans from Midland College. Long three by Love. A little bit long, no good.
Coach Drew kind of shaking his head right now. I mean, he's thinking we're just shooting threes. That's the easiest offense there is. But if those shots are there, take them. And when you're up 79-42, you can take a few.
Davis again, hook shot. This one no good. Langston Love, another rebound. I think these are good minutes, aren't they, for Langston Love?
They are. He just has to knock some of the rust off. He looked against Tennessee just a little step, half a step slow, I should say. But he's going to get quicker. He's going to get it all back. He shot the ball pretty well today.
Roach knifes in and lays it in with his left hand. Timeout on the floor. 6 minutes, 12 seconds to play. Jeremy Roach, the bucket. He's got 15 on the day. Bears lead by 39. Foster Pavilion in Waco, matinee basketball here, and there are some other matinee games going on. How about West Virginia taking on now third-ranked Gonzaga? They're Paradise Island in the Bahamas. 10-point lead for the Zags in the second half. Iowa State and Colorado, they're in Maui, and both with wins last night. That'll be a non-conference game. Won't show up on the conference slate, but the Iowa State has the early lead.
And John, I'm watching games last night. I feel like I'm watching March Madness in November.
Man.
That Iowa State, Dayton, you had Colorado beating Connecticut, Alabama beat Houston, Kansas beats Duke. I mean, those are NCAA tournament kind of games, and we're not even at Thanksgiving yet.
Yeah, it's November.
Yeah.
That is wild. So keep you updated on those. Others upcoming: Arizona versus Davidson in the Bahamas, Houston versus Notre Dame out in Las Vegas. Well, we've talked about it. Big 12 will be a bear this year.
Just a gauntlet, and you know, we said at the end of last year, best team in our best league in the country, statistically proven, just got better with some key additions, and it's going to be crazy. But there's a lot of basketball yet to be played, a lot of development yet to be made before conference starts.
Three-pointer, Day Hunter left side. Had time to look down, make sure his feet were behind the arc, and then knock it down for three.
I'm looking at the threes, John. Baylor has taken 63 shots. 33 of those have been threes, more than half, yeah.
Rob Wright in the paint. Leaner is no good, but a whistle and a foul.
Something else he's really good at doing is drawing contact in the lane. Tough shot. Knows he's going to have a hard time getting it off, but he just has a knack to draw contact, and even on a tough shot, either getting an and one at the free throw line or an opportunity to score there. That's what he's got here. Take a couple of free throws.
Man played at Montverde. He is that free throw is his 15th point today. He's been in double figure scoring every game but one this year. It's a true freshman coming in on this team, getting the minutes and making most of it with double figure scoring.
That's right. Well, if you play point guard for Scott Drew, you've got to score. And you think of the great scoring point guards he's had, James Akinjo, Pierre Jackson, and Wright's a guy that's going to fit in, I think, to that mold. He stirs it up. He's going to lead the team in assists, but he also knows how to get the ball in the bucket. Again, a 50% three-point shooter. And it's hard to believe this kid's just a freshman.
That was MJ Thomas in the paint. Shot good and fouled by Josh Ojanwuna, so he'll have a chance at a three-point play.
Yeah, Ojanwuna is playing defense in the low post, and the ball, the inlet pass to the offensive player, he went for it, tried to steal it, didn't get it, and he took himself completely out of position because of it, and then had to foul Thomas to recover as Thomas was trying to lay it in.
Free throw no good, out of bounds. It's Baylor's ball with 4:52 to play. Bears up 82-47.
Well, the plot continues to thicken as the Bears get ready to go to Storrs, Connecticut next week. Be a fun trip. Going to find the Huskies in a bad mood, I believe.
Jeremy Roach knifes in for the lay-in. Another two for Jeremy Roach, having a very nice game. 17 on the afternoon. .47, Baylor on top. Day Hunter knocks down another three-pointer. He's got a good-looking shot. He's made 5 threes today, 5 of 8 from three-point range. 15 points, he's their leading scorer.
Yeah, and give White credit for the assist that time. He's the guy that drew the attention of the defense, and that left him, his teammate, wide open. Bears really an unforced error that time. Ball just rolls out of bounds. That is just turnover number 6 against the Bears. The goal in every game for Baylor is 11 turnovers or less, and they're probably going to manage that today with 4 minutes left.
You know, that's really good in a game that got out of hand kind of early to still take care of the basketball to that extent. James White in the corner, gets it back outside. Hunter, shot blocked this time by Celestine. Gets it back, gets away from Celestine and knocks down his 6th three of the day.
Yeah, he was going to shoot it. I mean, the one thing we knew for sure in that possession, Hunter was going to fire it, but why not? I mean, when he's having the kind of afternoon he's having, and quietly, he's made big threes.
Rob Wright runner, no good. Rebound Josh Ojanwuna outside to right for 3, no good. Left corner. Hunter the rebound for the Privateers.
And I think Wright was so wide open, he guided it a little bit. He didn't just shoot it, tried to guide it up there. I mean, he had all day to survey it, check the wind, and then let it fly.
James White gets the ball to his teammate M.J. Thomas, who puts it in. That is now an 8-0 run by the Privateers. Still down 84-55. 2:50 to play. Langston Love on the baseline, back outside the arc. Shot no good. Thomas rebound for New Orleans.
You know, and this game is no longer in doubt. Hasn't been in doubt for a long time. But I think Coach Drew is thinking that's not our offense. Like, you know, you could settle for a 3. They've been settling for those most of the second half. That's not the kind of looks they're going to get when conference play starts.
Josh Ojanwuna gets the steal, the pass to the low post. Coach Drew ready to clear his bench a little bit. Next stoppage of play. Jeremy Roach has his shot blocked partially from the free throw line. Now 2 minutes to go. 84-55 Baylor.
Interesting matchup right here in front of us as the 3 goes from White. You got Ojanwuna pulled out about 20 feet from the basket, and he was guarding a guy at about 6'1". That's J.R. Jacobs. But Ojanwuna can extend his defense.
We've got a timeout. Subs coming on. We'll tell you what we found out about VJ Edgecombe when we come back. I'll look down the end of the bench there. Not Mark Weibel, but VJ Edgecombe had played in the second half, and we are told there was a little tightness in a hamstring. So with an abundance of caution, he is not played in the second half. So understandable there. Just be careful. You don't really need him. Don't need to push it in this game. So it seems like a really smart move.
I think it's a good call, and he is a freak athlete. I'm reminded of the former Baylor coach who described those kind of injuries, the freakier, the tweakier. And, you know, like a little tightness in the hamstring for a freak athlete, that's a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a different level of play that I don't really understand. So good call to hold him out. Don't need him.
Good move. And Coach Drew has cleared his bench. Marino Dubrovcic is on. Davidson Hubbard is on. Omar Abdullah is on. There's Dubrovcic with the bucket for Baylor, and the crowd loves it.
There's a guy a lot below the radar when he came in. He's a European player, 6'10", 230 pounds, but he is skilled.
Gets the Bears to 86 on the day. Coach Holloway has cleared his bench as well. That's Theo Grant of Shorts, Texas, who nails the three-pointer. Grant Kemp is out there. Jackson Sellards is out there for New Orleans. Rob Wright still out there and still firing threes, hitting another one that gets the Bears to 89.
Yeah, it's almost like Baylor has made a pact, and it is, we're not shooting anything other than threes in the second half. They have shot a ton of them, but again, they make more than they miss.
Grant Kemp, the shot for New Orleans. Rob Wright's going to bring it up. Baylor has made 15 threes today. That is the second time this year they've had 15 threes in a game. The other one was St. John's, right? But that was in double overtime. So in regulation 40 minutes, 15 threes made by Baylor.
Well, Baylor was among the lead leaders in the Big 12, the league, last year in three-pointers made a game. I think it was right under 10. So that's an integral part of their offense, and we've seen today it's one thing they know how to do.
Oh, nice pass. Omar gives it underneath to Davidson Hubbard, and the bucket is good. That was a very nice assist. Gets the Bears to 91 on the year. Great to see those guys who work so hard in practice get some minutes in game time. Shot at the buzzer is no good. This one all Baylor today. Bears stay undefeated at home. They win over New Orleans. Three-fest in Foster Pavilion. 91-60, Bears the final score.
It was a feel-good game for the Bears. They needed one. They went out to the Bahamas and played two top 15 teams in the country, and I think came home exhausted, beat up a little bit after the Tennessee game. So they needed one where they could just come out and play a little loose, free, and easy, and get a lot of threes up. They did that. And the first half shooting exhibition from Jayden Nunn got him out of the gate strong. They go on to win by 31.
How about Jayden Nunn, a season-high 23 on 7 made threes by Jayden Nunn. He led the way, 7 of 10. Baylor hit 15 total threes on the afternoon. Bears win it, going away 91-60 over New Orleans. Now they step back up a class as they play. Nothing derogatory to New Orleans, but they're going to play the two-time back-to-back defending national champions in UConn coming up next week.
Yeah, John, you make a good point. New Orleans, first-year coach, they're just trying to get things going, get all the right pieces of the puzzle. But you're right, it's a step up next week. And Bears have played top 5 team, Gonzaga. I think Tennessee's a top 5 team, and they'll see a team next week on the road. Again, this is at home for Connecticut. It'll be a different ball game. Bears needed one like this to be able to come back, practice, work on some stuff, recover from a tough trip to the Bahamas. Sounds weird, doesn't it? Tough trip to the Bahamas.
Yeah,
but
it was
they did
tough.
that, and they come back in nice style today.
Bears into every game with a word of prayer at midcourt. Jayden Nunn leads the way with 23 on the day. Baylor wins over New Orleans 91-60. Baylor now 5-2 on the season. Privateers drop to 2-5. For Pat Nunley and our entire crew, I'm John Morris. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Thanks for watching the Big 12 on ESPN+.